guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing really well, and this is the AFC Asian Cup review where we had 3 more matches to talk about. We're going to discuss the 2 matches we have tomorrow as well. So if you're excited, please do like and share the video. If you like the video in general, please subscribe, leave me your opinion in the comments about everything that I'm going to discuss, leave me your prediction for tomorrow as well. And let's get into it. So starting off with the first game of the day, and probably with the biggest surprise of the AFC Asian Cup, Iraq beat Japan, and this is an absolutely fantastic result from Iraq. I thought they played really well. They defended like warriors. They deserved the victory. They played. I thought the way they started that game, they put all the pressure on the Japanese in the first 5 or 6 minutes, and immediately got a reward. It's a lovely cross from Ali Jassim, who I thought was very good and very well headed in by Ayman Hussein, who I thought was an absolute menace in that first half for Japan. He was bullying Itakura and Taniguchi at the back, and it's 1-0 Iraq just like that. And Japan after that, they don't really create much. They have a lot of possession, a lot of good play. They were getting the right spaces, but they weren't able to quite penetrate that Iraqi defense. And you felt like surely Japan are going to get a goal. They're probing. They was trying to play more through the wide positions. You had Ito, you had Kubo, Boat, and I thought they had some half chances. I thought Asano maybe could have squared it. I think, to be honest, Ueda made a huge difference when he came on. Ueda should be starting. Asano, yeah, he's a decent little player, but he offered nothing compared to what Ueda offered when he came on. I thought Ritsu Doan did well, but that first half, Japan were all over the place. And Sanaguchi, the right back, was getting spinned inside out. And again, the goal comes from Iraq's left. This time the left back has a great run on. Again, a wonderful finish from Ayman Hussein to make it 2-0. And he was proper striker position performance from him. I thought the way he was holding up the ball, the way he was getting everybody else into play, the work rate he showed, it was fantastic. He went with an unfortunate injury. I thought Muhammad Ali, a different kind of player, he offered his own sort of threat. And Iraq, just like that, are 2-0 up, and Jesus Casas' side were doing brilliantly. They were making sure they were defensively compact. They had a really good structure. They were physical. Japan couldn't last in that atmosphere as well. The Iraqi fans created probably the best atmosphere I've seen at this AFC Asian Cup. And moving to the second half, Japan just looked lost. Moriyasu looked lost. He brought on a couple of players. He tried a couple of new things, but I thought some of the players were just not in the right position. You had Minamino at left wing, which I thought didn't work. I thought the midfield of Endo and Morita is not the most creative in the world. I thought Japan just looked plain and ordinary in that second half. They really did. They started, I thought, with a bit more energy at the start of the half, but as the game went on, Iraq who was creating the better chances. Muhammad Ali, I think if he was just that tad bit clinical, he could have had easily 2 goals just by himself. And Japan's defense was that vulnerable again in that second half. And I thought Ritsu Doan came on. He didn't make a difference. I thought he was getting all over the places. He was making some nice runs, but overall, Japan didn't do enough to win that game. And Japan didn't really deserve anything from that game. There was a late goal for Wataru Endo. Iraq continued to give away corners and eventually won. I think the goalkeeper just has a bit of a mare, to be honest. And he comes out, then he realizes he's not going to get there, so I don't know what he does there. And Wataru Endo just puts it in. Even after that, Iraq defend the last 5 odd minutes really well. I don't really think Japan have that many chances. There was one for Ritsu Doan in the box, but it was too many bodies and it's hard to finish that one up personally. There was one for Maeda. I think that was a half chance for Japan because that was a cross on the right. Maeda gets in front of the defender, but it was very difficult chances, and I thought overall Japan were really poor. Now, it's a wake-up call for them. Let's see what happens, but Japan versus South Korea could be a fixture for the round of 16 now. That's going to be interesting, and Iraq have officially topped this group, so congratulations to Iraq. I thought they were very good. And Jesus Casas is probably going to make a lot of changes for their final game against Vietnam. And talking about Vietnam, and they played Indonesia in the second game of the day, and Indonesia sealed Vietnam's fate of this AFC Asian Cup. Vietnam are the first team that are knocked out of the AFC Asian Cup, and I thought Indonesia in that first 45 minutes were absolutely brilliant. The way they were pressing, the way they created a couple of good chances. I thought Marcelinho was again involved in the play. I thought they came out with a different spirit. They just came out. They looked a tad bit sharper than Vietnam, but they were moving. They moved everything. I thought the way Indonesia played, I thought you had to give manager Shin a lot of credit, and the way he set up, I thought Indonesia played with a lot of positivity. They played with the right intent, and they get a penalty. I thought it was a penalty. Yes, it is, of course, because it's shirt pulling. Definitely a penalty. No real reason not to give us a pen, and it's very well converted by the captain, who puts it in, and 1-0 to Indonesia. And Indonesia, even after that, I thought created some good openings. The final touch was missing with Indonesia. Vietnam in that second half did come out a bit harder on Indonesia in that first 15-20 minutes. Indonesia were pinned in, but after that, I think Vietnam just lost ideas. They didn't know what to do. Philippe Trezor looked clueless. The injuries just really killed them. There weren't that many options for Vietnam, and Indonesia could have scored a second. I felt more likely in that second half. There was good opportunity. There was one very good tackle in a one-on-one situation. There was another good chance, and overall, I think Indonesia, they defended when they had to defend. I thought they had a very good attacking threat when they needed to, and they just genuinely played really well. I liked what I see from Indonesia, and they got Japan on the final match day. Do I see a shock? Who knows? But Vietnam, not good enough in this game. I praised them against Japan, but in this game they were not good enough. They weren't brave enough. They didn't want it as much as Indonesia did, and the approach was timid. It was timid, and it's not good enough. And I think Vietnam will be disappointed heading out the Asian Cup like that, because I think they gave a good account of themselves against Japan, and then I think they gave a really bad account of themselves against Indonesia. Now Indonesia, 3 points. Let's see what they can do in the final day against Japan, but I think 3 points might actually be enough with the way things are going. Moving to the final game of the day, we had Hong Kong taking on Iran, and Iran won 1-0. And it was probably one of the worst Iranian performances I have seen in a long time. Iran were absolutely horrible. First of all, they won, so in tournament football, that's what you got to do. But the way they played was absolutely horrific. It was just individual brilliance, and I thought it wasn't good enough. Hong Kong, China, they had a big chance. There was some lovely ball pressing, win the ball back. Everton, he could have done better with that finish. There was another chance. Iran hit the post from a good cross, and then the goal comes. It's a good finish, to be fair, from the left winger. And I was thinking at that point, surely Iran are going to get into this more. They're going to try and create more. It didn't happen. The tempo was slow. I thought Hong Kong, China played really well. They played with organisation. You have to give their manager a lot of credit. They had a clear press. They had a clear plan of what to do. And Iran just looked absolutely clueless. In that second half, they got some good opportunities. But overall, the way they played looked very poor to me. They looked very substandard. And Hong Kong, China also do deserve a lot of credit. I think the way they pressed, the way they were organised, I think frustrated the Iranians. And Hong Kong, China, if they actually had a bit of quality about them, they could have easily won that game, because they had some very big chances. Birorand also, I think, in the first half had a bit of a mess up where the defender tries to clear and he almost loops into the net, where Birorand just gets a hand. But overall, Iran, not good enough, I can't lie. Now, the good thing for Iran is they won this game, so they have qualified for the round of 16 with Iraq. But if they're going to play like this, it's going to be tough getting into the semi-finals. I can't lie, even for Iran. They need to improve drastically. I thought they need to get Mehdi Taremi more on the ball, need to feed him better. Jahan Bash, I thought he had a big chance. He was awful. I thought he was free in the box and he just completely missed shot. Iran, I'm not impressed. I can't lie. At the end, they were time wasting as well. That showed that how poor they were in the game. And Hong Kong, China, they did create openings. They just couldn't finish it. Very unlucky, personally. I think they did really well. And they should be proud of themselves. I think the way they defended, I thought the way they pressed at times, I thought they really pressed Iran. They weren't playing in a parked bus way. They did actually try and play some good football as well. And huge credit to Hong Kong. Now they got Palestine on the final match day, which they have to win to qualify. Iran, I think, are through anyway, but let's see if they actually want to get first spot in this group. To be honest, I think they did rest some of their players for this game, but overall, not good enough from Iran. I think a lot of improvements going to be needed if they're going to win it, if they want to go and win in this tournament. Anyway, moving over to tomorrow's action, we've got 2 games actually to talk about, just 2 tomorrow, as we move to the business end of match day 2. Jordan taking on South Korea. Now, South Korea, they got a bit of a dilemma. Do you want to get first in this group now? Because if they do finish first in this group, they will play Japan. Jordan, I think, showed a good account of themselves against Malaysia. I thought they played really, really well. A much, much better performance from Jordan. They looked like a solid team. They played basic football, but it worked. It worked, and that's how you have to give the manager the credit. They played, I thought, really, really well. They scored some lovely goals. And I think tomorrow's going to be a real test against South Korea, though. But I think the way Iraq played, Jordan should fancy themselves, because I think the Jordanian fans will also create a good atmosphere. I think South Korea are way, way worse coach side than Japan at the moment, I feel. And Jordan could get something tomorrow. The way this Asian Cup's moving, it would not surprise me if Jordan do get something tomorrow. It would not. The way that the things are going, I think South Korea, of course, are going to head into this tomorrow favourites, but they didn't play that well against Bahrain. I don't think. They were slow, it was pedestrian. And Jordan, I think, just going to need to play basic football. Now, the one thing is, Jordan at the moment, they are head-to-head, ahead on goal difference with South Korea. But if they can get something tomorrow for this game, I think it will be a major, major confidence boost. And I think Jordan, look, I didn't expect them to really be in this position. I thought the Malaysia game would be one they'll slip up, but actually played really, really well. And I think they could do something similar against South Korea. I think Jordan could really, really take out the Iraq-Japan game and just use it properly. Go hard, early, shock them, score, hold back, and then wait for your moments. I think tomorrow's going to be a really, really tight game. I think South Korea are going to probably still win. I think South Korea, they do have the quality. They got star quality, to be honest. They got game changers in Son. They got Kang In Lee. So I think South Korea should be fancying themselves. But you wouldn't surprise me if Jordan do get a result tomorrow. I wouldn't at all. Because the way I think Jordan defended against Malaysia, I thought was professional. The way they attacked was professional. They played basic football. And they had some real, real good moments. And I think, personally, for tomorrow's game, I'm feeling a 1-1. I'm feeling a 1-1 here. I am going bold here. It's going to be Jordan 1, South Korea 1. I think South Korea are going to struggle tomorrow. I think something similar could happen with the Japan-Iraq game. South Korea, of course, that they're going to have 60, 65, even 70% of the ball. But I think Jordan are going to stay very compact defensively. They're going to make life difficult for South Korea. And I think South Korea will get Jordan will get something tomorrow, I feel. It's going to be a 1-1 draw. Moving to the final game of the group, we've got Bahrain taking on Malaysia. And this is an absolute must-win for both. They need to win tomorrow to have any hope of qualification. If whoever loses is, I think, most likely going home, unless something miraculous happens. Now, Bahrain, I think they gave a good account of themselves against South Korea. I thought they played at a nice tempo. They played well. Personally, in my opinion, they made life difficult for South Korea at times. But defensively, they were all over the place. Pizzi, we all know the issues we have with Pizzi. They don't defend well. But I thought at times they actually did maintain a good shape. Malaysia, though, they gave an absolute horrible account of themselves, to be honest, after coming back to Asian football's main piece. I thought they were horrible against Jordan. Jordan just did the basics right, and Malaysia just probably one of the worst displays I've seen in a long time defensively. The defenders, one guy would push up, the other two would stay deep. What was their defending? It was horrific. Attacking wise, they didn't offer much as well, even though I think they are a much better team than what they showed, attacking wise especially against Jordan. But I think Bahrain, they need to win tomorrow. I think Bahrain should be heading to this favourites. I think Bahrain, against the Malaysia defence, should be creating a lot of chances, personally, in my opinion. And I think Malaysia, look, this Asian Cup has probably come too soon. I think it's a young team. It's a team that wants to play front-footed, and I don't think they got really the team to do it. So I think, just like they did against Jordan, I think they're going to play into the hands of Bahrain. Now, Bahrain defensively also aren't the greatest. So I think that's something that could help Malaysia in tomorrow's game. And I think that could give them some hope. They could probably outscore Bahrain, but I think Bahrain, with the experience they got, the climate they got, the support they're going to have for tomorrow's game, I just don't see anything other than a Bahrain win. Am I going to be surprised if Malaysia do win? Probably. Yeah, I probably will be surprised if Malaysia do pull off something, but I don't see it happening. I think Bahrain are just going to be too good. I think they played really, really well against South Korea, especially in the attacking half. They created enough opportunities. And I'm going with a big scoreline here. I really go with big scorelines. I think this game's got goals written all over it, and I'm going with a 4-2 win for Bahrain, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a big win for Bahrain tomorrow. I think they're going to get back on track, and they're going to them versus Jordan on the final day. Could be an interesting game. Anyway, after today's game, the situation in Group C: Iran are top, UAE are second, Palestine are 1, Hong Kong, China are none, and Iraq on 6 at the moment, Japan at the moment on 3, Indonesia on 3, Vietnam are going home, as we all know, but Iraq are going to be the team that's going to win that group, which I didn't see coming, but congratulations to Iraq, very, very good. And if you like the video though, please do like and share the video. If you like the video in general, please subscribe, leave me your opinions in the comments about everything that I've discussed in this video, and leave me a prediction for tomorrow's games, and I hope to see you guys later for another video.